Never share your next move with anyone. These words may sound simple, but they carry a wisdom that can change the way you live your life forever. Too often, we fall into the habit of announcing our dreams, our plans, and our goals to the world before they've even taken shape. We tell our friends, we tell our colleagues, sometimes we even tell strangers on social media. And in that rush of sharing, we feel an instant pleasure, as if we've already achieved something. But here's the truth: every time you speak too soon, you leak the power of your vision. A seed grows silently under the soil before it becomes a mighty tree. The seed doesn't shout to the world, "Look, I'm growing roots." It doesn't announce, "One day I'll give shade and fruit." It just focuses on the process. In the same way, your dreams need protection, not premature publicity. Silence is your shield. Discipline is your companion. Consistency is your weapon. The world doesn't always celebrate your vision. Some will misunderstand it, some will doubt it, and some may even try to pull you down before you rise. When you keep your next move to yourself, you give your goals the sacred space to breathe and grow without interference. Remember, people can only attack what they know. Protect your journey by keeping it unseen until it's strong enough to stand on its own. This doesn't mean living in secrecy or isolation. It means being wise. Share your progress, not your process. Share your results, not your plans. Because once the fruit appears, the same people who doubted you will come and admire the tree you've built. Consistency is the hidden ingredient here. Dreams don't become reality because you talk about them. They manifest because day after day you worked when no one was watching. You stayed silent, but you stayed steady. You didn't need applause, you needed persistence. So today, make a commitment to yourself. Stop announcing. Start acting. Let your silence be louder than your words. Let your results speak for you. And above all, never share your next move with anyone until it is complete. Because the most powerful people are not the ones who speak the most, but the ones whose actions make the world speechless. Silence protects power. Think about this for a moment. In life, some of the most powerful forces do not make noise. The sun rises every single day, giving light and warmth to the entire planet, yet it does not shout. The rivers flow endlessly, nourishing lands and civilizations, yet they do not boast. The trees grow patiently, providing shade, oxygen, and fruit, yet they do not make announcements of their progress. There is a sacred strength in silence, and when we learn to channel this into our lives, we discover that our dreams and our moves are safest, strongest, and most effective when they are protected by the quiet discipline of silence. Human beings, however, often crave recognition before achievement. We want others to know what we are planning, what we are aiming for, and what we are dreaming of. In that moment of sharing, we feel excitement, we feel validated, we feel that rush of being noticed. But what really happens is that the energy of our vision begins to leak. Instead of pouring that energy into action, we pour it into talking. Instead of strengthening the seed underground, we try to pull it out prematurely to show the world, and in doing so, we kill its potential. Imagine a farmer who plants seeds in the soil. If he keeps digging up the soil every single day to show everyone how the seeds are growing, will those seeds ever grow? Of course not. Growth requires patience, care, and protection. The same is true for your goals. Your plans are like those fragile seeds. They are alive, but they are vulnerable. The moment you expose them too early, they risk being damaged by doubt, jealousy, criticism, or even your own loss of focus. Silence acts as the soil. It covers your dreams, keeping them safe and hidden until they are strong enough to withstand the world. Think of history's greatest achievers. They didn't go around announcing every detail of what they would do. They quietly prepared, quietly built, quietly refined their craft. And then one day, the world woke up to see the fruit of their efforts. People were amazed, people were shocked, people were inspired. But that was because the achievers allowed their work to speak louder than their words. There's a psychological trap here that we must understand. When you share your next move with someone, you receive a small dose of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. Just by talking about your plan, your mind feels as though you've already accomplished something. But here's the danger: when you feel satisfied from talking, your hunger to actually do the work decreases. In other words, you traded real progress for momentary pleasure. Silence, however, prevents this trap. By keeping your vision within, you stay hungry, you stay motivated. You know that no one else is clapping yet. And that drives you to earn the applause through action, not through words. Let me give you an example. Suppose you are preparing for a marathon. The moment you tell people, "I'm going to run a marathon," many will say, "Wow, that's amazing," and you'll feel proud even before you've trained a single day. Some will say, "I don't think you can do it," and that doubt may enter your mind. Some might even discourage you. "Why waste your time? It's too hard." Suddenly, instead of focusing on training, you're busy dealing with opinions. Now imagine you kept quiet. You trained daily, step by step, without telling anyone. And then one morning, you simply show up, run the marathon, and cross the finish line. That silent preparation protected your power, and your results spoke louder than 1,000 conversations ever could. Silence is not about secrecy, it's about strategy. It doesn't mean you isolate yourself or never share anything with anyone. It means you become selective and wise. You understand that your goals are sacred, and not every ear deserves to hear them. Not every person has the capacity to encourage you. Not every friend has the maturity to protect your vision. Some may unintentionally discourage you because of their own fears and limitations. Some may consciously try to pull you down. Why expose your dreams to that risk? Protect them with silence until they are unshakable. In the ancient wisdom of spirituality, silence has always been considered powerful. Saints and sages often practiced silence not because they had nothing to say, but because they understood that silence deepens energy. When you stay silent, your mind becomes focused, your heart becomes clear, and your actions become sharper. In the same way, when you practice silence with your goals, your energy is not scattered in explanations or arguments. It is directed like a laser beam into execution. Now, someone may ask, but isn't sharing your goals a way to keep yourself accountable? It can be, but accountability only works with the right people, the ones who uplift you, guide you, and encourage you. With most people, announcing your next move is not accountability, it is entertainment. They listen, they nod, they may forget, or worse, they may criticize. And then you are left with unnecessary noise around your vision. Accountability is powerful, but it should be reserved for mentors, teachers, or very close companions who genuinely want your success. For everyone else, your silence is more than enough. Remember, the most successful people are often underestimated before they succeed. They are working quietly, unnoticed, underestimated, and sometimes even ridiculed. But then one day, they reveal the results, and the same world that ignored them cannot stop applauding. This transformation happens not because they shouted about their plans, but because they worked on them in silence. Your silence is not weakness. It is strength under control. It is the art of letting your roots grow deep before your branches spread wide. It is the maturity to value progress over praise. It is the wisdom to know that power grows best when it is hidden, not displayed. So the next time you feel the urge to tell the world what you are about to do, pause. Ask yourself, do I want temporary applause or lasting success? Do I want to impress people with words or inspire them with actions? Do I want to weaken my vision with talk or strengthen it with silence? Silence protects power. Protect your goals. Protect your dreams. Protect your vision. Let them grow in the quiet, and one day they will rise like the sun, without noise, without announcement, yet impossible to ignore. Premature sharing weakens progress. This truth is subtle, but if understood deeply, it can change the entire way you approach your goals. Every time we talk about what we're about to do before actually doing it, we unintentionally weaken the power behind our actions. Instead of building momentum, we often lose it. Instead of focusing on progress, we become trapped in words. Why does this happen? Let's reflect. When we share our plans too early, our mind gets tricked into believing we've already achieved something. It's like opening a gift before the occasion. It feels exciting for a moment, but it leaves us with nothing lasting afterward. Talking creates a false sense of accomplishment. The moment we say, I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to transform my health, the people around us may clap, admire, or encourage us. But here lies the danger that temporary praise fools us into thinking we've already moved forward, when in reality, not a single step has been taken. Consider the story of a student preparing for exams. He tells his friends, this time, I'm going to study seriously and score the highest marks. His friends nod, they cheer him, and he feels proud. But the hours he should have spent studying are replaced by endless discussions about how he will study. Eventually, the exams arrive, and he realizes that talking about preparation and actually preparing are worlds apart. Premature sharing weakened his progress. This doesn't mean that sharing is always wrong. It means sharing too early is dangerous. There is a right time to reveal your work, and that time is not in the beginning when your vision is still fragile. A plant just sprouting from the soil is delicate. A small storm or careless touch can destroy it. But when the plant has grown into a tree, no storm can uproot it. Similarly, your ideas need time to grow roots before they can withstand the winds of opinions, doubts, or criticism. When you announce them prematurely, you expose them to forces they cannot yet resist. Think of how inventors, artists, and leaders operated. Many of them worked in obscurity for years, quietly refining their ideas, failing in silence, learning in silence, improving in silence. If they had spoken too soon, the world might have dismissed them, laughed at them, or stolen their ideas. Instead, they allowed their work to become strong enough to stand on its own, and then they revealed it. The result: the world could not ignore them. There's also another subtle point here. When we share our goals too soon, we invite unnecessary resistance. Not everyone will understand what you're trying to do. Some may discourage you out of jealousy. Some may mock you out of ignorance. And some may project their own fears onto you. That's too risky. That's impossible. That's not for someone like you. If your idea is still young, those voices can shake your confidence. But when you keep silent and act, by the time people notice, your progress itself will silence their doubts. Let's take an example. Imagine someone who wants to start exercising regularly. On the very first day, they post on social media, from tomorrow, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym daily. They receive likes, hearts, and comments. That's amazing. You're so disciplined. But the next morning, when the alarm rings, the brain says, you already got your reward yesterday. People praised you. So the person snoozes the alarm, and the habit never starts. Contrast this with someone who quietly sets the alarm, wakes up, goes to the gym, and repeats this for weeks. After 3 months, when people see the transformation, the progress itself becomes the announcement. Which one has real strength? The silent one. Premature sharing is like spending your paycheck before you've even earned it. It gives you temporary satisfaction, but leaves you empty when it matters most. Your energy is meant for action, not for endless explanation. If you want to achieve greatness, you must learn to channel your energy inward until your progress becomes undeniable. Now, let's be clear, sharing isn't evil. In fact, at the right time, sharing your results can inspire others. But inspiration comes from fruits, not from seeds. A tree inspires because it stands tall, because it bears fruit, because it provides shade. Imagine if a farmer went around telling everyone, look, I've planted a seed, it will become a tree one day. Most people would laugh. But when the tree actually grows, the same people sit under its shade and admire it. That is the difference between premature sharing and powerful showing. Even in relationships, this principle holds true. When we are building trust, love, or understanding, words alone don't convince people. Promises are easy, but consistency is hard. Prematurely promising, I will always be there for you, means nothing if the actions don't match. But when you quietly, consistently show up, listen, and care, your presence speaks more than your promises ever could. Sharing too early weakens trust, but steady action strengthens it. Another danger of premature sharing is comparison. Once you announce your goals, people start comparing. Oh, you're starting a business. My cousin did that, but he failed. You want to write a book. So many people write books. What's new about yours? Suddenly, your mind becomes distracted, doubting whether you are good enough. But if you had stayed silent, you would have been focused only on your own journey, not on the noise of comparisons. Silence saves you from distraction. Think of the spiritual wisdom of monks and saints. Many of them live in silence, not because they cannot speak, but because they know that silence preserves inner strength. The energy that could be wasted in speaking is instead used in meditation, prayer, or service. In the same way, when we hold back from announcing our every move, we preserve the energy that could be wasted in unnecessary talk, and we direct it toward meaningful progress. The truth is, simple action is louder than words. The world remembers what you did, not what you said you would do. No one writes history books about people who talked about great plans but never acted. History honors those who acted silently, consistently, and revealed results so powerful that the world had no choice but to listen. So the next time you feel the urge to tell the world your plan, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this to feel good, or am I doing this to make progress? Am I looking for premature applause, or am I willing to wait for genuine respect? Am I wasting energy in talk, or am I investing energy in work? Premature sharing weakens progress because it scatters your energy, exposes you to unnecessary resistance, and gives you false satisfaction. But when you protect your plans with silence, you preserve your power, focus on action, and let your results speak for you. Learn the art of waiting, learn the power of silence, and above all, learn that true progress doesn't come from what you say, but from what you consistently do. People attack what they know. This is a truth of life that most of us learn the hard way. The moment you reveal your next move, your next plan, or your next dream, it becomes vulnerable. Not because the dream itself is weak, but because the world has eyes, opinions, and energies that don't always support you. And when your vision is still fragile, even the smallest negative word, the smallest seed of doubt, can shake it. That is why wisdom teaches us to keep our moves private until they are strong enough to stand on their own. Think about it. What people cannot see, they cannot attack. What they do not know, they cannot criticize. What they are unaware of, they cannot sabotage. When your dream is still within you, safe and protected, it is free from the weight of other people's negativity. But the moment you speak too soon, you invite the world into a place that was never meant for them. And the world, as we know, is not always kind. Imagine a young athlete training in silence. Every morning, he wakes up at 5 a.m., runs, lifts weights, practices his skills. He doesn't post about it, he doesn't announce it, he doesn't tell his friends. After 6 months, he enters a competition and surprises everyone with his strength and skill. People are shocked. We never knew he was training. Exactly, that's why he succeeded. Because if he had told them early on, some would have mocked him. You compete. You're too small, too slow. Some would have discouraged him. It's too hard, very few people make it. And some might have even envied him, secretly hoping he would fail. By keeping quiet, he protected his dream from unnecessary attacks until it was strong enough to withstand them. The reality is, not everyone wants you to win. Sometimes even those closest to you, friends, colleagues, even family, may unintentionally pull you down. Why? Because your ambition threatens their comfort. Your growth reminds them of their own stagnation. Your courage exposes their fears. So instead of cheering you, they attack you, sometimes with words, sometimes with silence, sometimes with subtle doubts. Are you sure this is the right decision? What if it doesn't work out? Don't get your hopes too high. These words may seem harmless, but they can poison the mind if you are not careful. A tiny doubt planted today can grow into hesitation tomorrow. A small criticism can echo in your head for weeks. When your dream is new, it is like a newborn child, precious but delicate. You wouldn't expose a newborn to harsh winds and crowds, would you? You protect it until it's strong. In the same way, you must protect your plans until they are resilient enough to face the storms of opinions. History gives us countless examples of this. When great inventors, leaders, and thinkers revealed their ideas too early, they were laughed at, ridiculed, or attacked. Imagine the Wright brothers telling people in 1903, "We are going to build a machine that flies." Most people mocked them. Human beings can never fly. Stop dreaming. If they had allowed those voices to drown their determination, the world might never have seen an airplane. Instead, they quietly built, tested, failed, learned, and finally flew. Only then did the world see, and once results spoke, no one could attack, because the impossible had already been done. The same truth applies to your life. If you tell everyone you are about to start a business, suddenly people will flood you with negativity. It's too risky. The economy is bad, so many startups fail. If you say you want to write a book, someone will say, "There are already too many books." If you say you want to change your career, someone will warn, "It's too late for you." All of this noise has the power to shake your resolve. But if you keep it quiet, act consistently, and reveal only when progress is visible, you disarm the attackers. By the time they know your work is already alive. There's also the danger of envy. Let's be honest, human beings sometimes struggle to celebrate others' growth. Some people see your progress as competition. They may not openly say it, but they secretly hope you stumble. And if you give them early knowledge of your plans, you give them opportunities to interfere. Not everyone attacks with words. Some attack with energy, with doubt, with subtle sabotage. That is why silence is your greatest protection. When no one knows your next move, no one can block it. In spiritual wisdom, there is a saying, "Guard your flame until it becomes a fire." When the flame is small, a single breath can extinguish it. But when it becomes a fire, no breath can put it out. Your plans are that flame. Protect them from careless breaths, criticism, envy, doubt, until they are roaring fires that no one can stop. Let me share a simple story. A young monk once asked his teacher, "Why do we stay silent about our practices? Why not tell the world what we are doing?" The teacher smiled and pointed to a candle. "When this candle is first lit," he said, "a small breeze can put it out. But when it becomes a torch, it can withstand the wind and even light up other candles. Protect your light until it is strong enough to shine without fear." This wisdom applies to every dream, every vision, every step of progress in our lives. Silence is not about fear. It is about wisdom. It doesn't mean you doubt yourself. It means you respect the process. It doesn't mean you are weak. It means you are strategic. You are not hiding because you are insecure. You are protecting because you are intelligent. People attack what they know, but they cannot attack what is invisible. And invisibility is your shield until strength is your armor. When you act in silence, you create an element of surprise. People may underestimate you, they may not expect much, and that works in your favor. Because when your results arrive, they arrive with impact. The shock value multiplies the respect. Instead of trying to convince people with explanations, you impress them with evidence. Instead of defending your dreams with words, you defend them with results. Ask yourself, how many times have you spoken about something too early and then lost the motivation to complete it? How many times have you been discouraged by someone's careless words after you revealed a plan? How many times have you given attackers the weapon by simply telling them what you were about to do? If you reflect, you'll realize this. Silence could have saved you. So the next time you have a dream, guard it. The next time you have a plan, protect it. The next time you feel excited to announce your move, pause. Remember, people attack what they know, but they cannot attack what they do not see. When your progress is hidden, it grows freely. When it is protected, it strengthens. And when it finally reveals itself, it speaks louder than anything you could have ever said. Learn the art of silent progress. Let the world see results, not plans. Let them witness your growth, not hear about your intentions. And most importantly, never forget that your greatest power lies not in what people know about you, but in what they don't know until it's too late to stop you. Consistency creates success. We live in a world that often celebrates quick results, overnight fame, and instant gratification. But the truth is, lasting success is rarely born in a single moment. It is built quietly, day after day, through small but steady actions. Just like drops of water, falling one by one, can carve even the hardest stone. Your consistent efforts, no matter how small, shape your destiny over time. Think of a bamboo tree. When the seed is planted for years, nothing seems to happen. You water it, you nurture it, you protect it, and yet, for a long time, there is no visible growth. People may laugh, people may doubt, people may say, "Why are you wasting your time?" But beneath the ground, something powerful is happening. The bamboo is growing roots, deep, strong, and wide. Only after this invisible process is complete does the bamboo suddenly shoot up, growing several feet in just weeks. Consistency was at work the whole time, building the foundation for an extraordinary outcome. Our lives are no different. Success doesn't come because of a single burst of inspiration or a one-time effort. It comes from showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It comes from doing the right thing not once, but again and again until it becomes second nature. Consistency turns actions into habits, habits into character, and character into destiny. Let's take a simple example: learning a musical instrument. Imagine someone buys a guitar and plays it for 6 hours one day out of excitement, then leaves it in the corner for the next 3 months. What progress will they make? Almost none. But if that same person plays for just 30 minutes every day, over weeks and months, the results will be magical. Their fingers will learn the chords, their ears will recognize the notes, and their heart will connect with the music. The difference is not talent. The difference is consistency. The same applies to health. One intense workout will not transform your body. Eating one healthy meal will not change your fitness. Reading one book will not expand your mind. But the power of small, consistent actions repeated daily can change everything. Success is not in what you occasionally do. It is in what you consistently do. The challenge, of course, is that consistency often feels boring. We live in a culture that glorifies excitement. We want results now. We want transformation in a week, wealth in a month, mastery in a year. But real growth doesn't work that way. Consistency teaches patience. It teaches discipline. It tests how much you truly want something. Anyone can be motivated for a day, but very few can be disciplined for years. And that is why very few achieve greatness. Think about water boiling. At 99 degrees it is hot, but it does not boil. At 100 degrees it turns to steam, and steam can move an engine. The difference is just 1 degree, but that 1 degree is only reached through consistent heat. Many people quit at 99 degrees. They give up when they are just one step away from transformation. They tried, but they didn't stay consistent. That's why consistency is not just about effort, it's about not quitting too soon. There is a beautiful story of a stone cutter. He strikes a stone once, twice, 100 times, and nothing happens. But on the 101st strike, the stone splits in two. Now, was it the 101st strike that broke the stone? No, it was the 100 strikes before it, each one building pressure, each one preparing the way. Consistency made the impossible possible. In spiritual practice too, consistency is everything. A single prayer may calm the mind for a moment, but daily prayer transforms the soul. One meditation may bring peace for a day, but consistent meditation changes the very way you experience life. Great saints and teachers were not born enlightened. They became enlightened through consistent practice, day after day, year after year, often in silence and solitude. The same truth applies to your career, your relationships, your dreams. Love, for example, is not proven by one grand gesture or one expensive gift. It is proven by consistent care, consistent listening, consistent presence. A partner who shows up daily with kindness and respect builds a relationship far stronger than one who only appears occasionally with dramatic displays. Success in love, like success in life, is consistency. So, why do so many people struggle with consistency? Because they confuse intensity with consistency. They push themselves too hard for a short time, burn out, and then quit. True consistency is not about doing everything at once. It is about doing something small, sustainable, and steady. You don't need to read 100 pages a day. Read 10, but do it daily. You don't need to run 10 kilometers in one go. Run one, but do it daily. The small steps compound. Over time, they create massive results. This is the secret behind every mastery. Athletes who win gold medals didn't practice only when they felt like it. They practiced on rainy days, on tired days, on days when no one was watching. Writers who produce masterpieces didn't only write when inspiration struck. They wrote daily, even when the words came slowly. Entrepreneurs who build empires didn't work only when motivated. They showed up every single day, solving problems, learning, and improving. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It is the bridge between your goals and your achievements. It is the silent force that keeps you moving when motivation fades. Motivation starts the journey, but consistency finishes it. Ask yourself, where in your life have you started but not stayed consistent? Did you begin a fitness plan and then stop after a week? Did you start a journal but abandon it after a month? Did you set a goal but give up when results didn't come fast enough? Success doesn't escape you because of lack of ability, it escapes you because of lack of consistency. The good news is, consistency is not talent, it is choice. Every day you wake up, you have a choice: will I do something today, no matter how small, that moves me closer to my vision? If the answer is yes, and if you repeat that choice daily, your future is guaranteed to change. Remember, success is not about speed, it is about direction. Even if you move slowly, if you move consistently, you will reach your destination. A river does not cut through rock because of its power, but because of its persistence. So start small, but start daily. Be consistent in your actions, consistent in your values, consistent in your dreams. The results may not show immediately, but they are accumulating silently. One day, when you least expect it, the world will see your bamboo shoot up, your stone split, your fire ignite. And they will call it success. But you will know the truth, it was consistency all along. Results speak louder than announcements. In life, it is not what you say you will do that inspires people. It is what you actually do. Words are easy, promises are cheap, but results are undeniable. You can argue with opinions, but you cannot argue with evidence. And when your results are visible, they become your loudest announcement to the world. Think of a tree. A tree never announces, I am about to give fruit. It never calls out, get ready, I am going to provide shade. It simply grows, silently, season after season, and when the time is right, the fruits appear. People notice not because the tree made noise, but because the results became impossible to ignore. In the same way, when you dedicate yourself to your goals, and let your work mature, your results will speak for you more powerfully than any announcement ever could. The problem many of us face is that we announce too soon. We talk about our intentions, our dreams, our next moves, because we want recognition before we've earned it. We want people to admire our ambition even before we have something real to show. But here is the danger: premature announcements create pressure, invite opinions, and sometimes even expose you to negativity. Worse, they can trick your mind into believing you've already achieved something, stealing the hunger that should have fueled your journey. Results, however, are undeniable. You don't need to explain them, defend them, or justify them. When people see the transformation, when they see the fruits of your labor, the conversation changes. Instead of asking, "Will you succeed?" they begin to ask, "How did you succeed?" Instead of doubting your potential, they start admiring your consistency. Let's take a practical example. Imagine two students. One tells everyone, "This time I'm going to top the class. Watch me." The other one stays silent, studies daily, puts in effort, and says nothing. On exam day, the first one may or may not deliver. If he fails, his words look empty. If he succeeds, his announcement still seems boastful. But the second student, without ever making noise, quietly tops the class. His results speak so loudly that no words are needed. People respect him not because of what he promised, but because of what he proved. Life has a simple law. People remember your results, not your intentions. They won't remember how passionately you announced your goals. They will remember how diligently you worked for them. No one is inspired by what you said you would do. They are inspired by what you actually did. This is true in every field. In business, investors don't care about flashy promises. They care about measurable results. In relationships, your partner doesn't value dramatic speeches as much as consistent actions of love and care. In spirituality, enlightenment is not about how much philosophy you speak. It is about how much peace and transformation your life radiates. Words may impress, but results influence. There is a story of a young monk who asked his master, "How can I make people respect me for my discipline?" The master replied, "Don't tell them about your discipline. Let your life become so disciplined that when they look at you, they cannot help but respect you." This is the essence of results. True respect is earned, not demanded. It flows naturally when people witness what you have built with your actions. Another danger of announcements is that they often invite unnecessary judgment. If you say, "I am going to lose weight," suddenly everyone becomes a critic of your diet, your habits, your routines. If you say, "I will start a business," everyone begins giving advice, most of which is discouraging. But when you quietly work and show the results, when people see the transformation in your health, or when they see your business running, those same critics turn into admirers. The results silence the noise. Think about how the greatest innovators operated. When Thomas Edison was working on inventing the light bulb, he didn't go around announcing his plan. He failed over 1,000 times in silence. If he had told the world early, people would have mocked him. Impossible. But when he finally succeeded, the result lit up the world. He didn't need to convince anyone with words. The light bulb itself became the proof. In your own life, results are your loudest proof. If you want to change people's perception of you, don't argue with them. Don't try to explain yourself endlessly. Just show them with your results. If they say you cannot do it, let your achievement answer them. If they say you are not capable, let your progress prove them wrong. There is nothing more powerful than letting your work speak for itself. The beauty of results is that they create influence. People listen differently when you have evidence behind your words. If a teacher speaks about discipline, but lives a lazy life, students ignore him. But if he himself lives with discipline, his results command respect. If a leader speaks of honesty, but is caught in lies, no one trusts him. But if his results show integrity, people follow him willingly. Influence is not built on announcements, it is built on results. Even in spirituality, this principle is clear. Saints and sages didn't announce, "We are enlightened." They simply lived with such peace, such compassion, such wisdom, that their very presence spoke louder than any claim could. The world recognized their state, not because they said it, but because they lived it. So how do we live this principle? By focusing less on what we say and more on what we do. By shifting energy from announcing to acting, from talking to building. By remembering that your vision doesn't need applause at the beginning, it needs dedication. And once the results